Welcome to a Healthy Living episode number 75 at workoutmaster.com. This is Ruben.
And you already know Aram. If you don't, you should by now.
There have been 75 episodes, but there's a lot of new listeners. They might not know.
They don't know.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to talk today about gluten intolerance. Let's tear this apart because it's a huge subject, very important. A lot of people have this issue. So, go on, Mr. Serrano.
Well, gluten intolerant, mostly what they're talking about is a sensitivity, an allergy, a reaction, is put overall as a term, to gluten and to gliadin, which are two of the main proteins that exist within grains. I'm talking about wheat, rye, barley, spelt, you name it. To some degree or another, they will have some form of this protein, and people tend to react very, very adversely to it. To what degree do they react? Well, it varies. Some people actually can have a very short, very intense reaction to it, which we typically recognize as a wheat allergy or a specific grain allergy. Some people develop, it can be broken down into certain categories. Non-celiac gluten intolerance, full-blown celiac gluten intolerance, and these people suffer of many, many debilitating symptoms that actually are all caused by gluten. Why do I say this? For one particular reason. I've worked with many, many patients, clients, whatever you want to call them, that I have told them you need to stay away from eating grains for X amount of months or weeks or whatever. And automatically, within a couple of weeks, they start feeling better and better. The symptoms that are associated with any type of gluten or gluten or gliadin reaction are over 250 different ones, which sometimes they overlap with other symptoms of different diseases or mechanisms.
From different sources, yeah.
Different sources. So it's very difficult to isolate this kind of symptom to this reaction to this specific, grain per se. But it's very, very common that people, once they stop eating grains, they will automatically feel very, very good. They will reduce the amount of inflammation that they have systemic to their bodies. Their joints will not ache, and overall they will feel a lot better. They will feel a new a second wind of energy that actually makes them feel really good. And the interesting thing is that once they go back to eating the same grains again, they will actually have reoccurrence of the previous symptoms that they were trying to eliminate right of the get-go. So they themselves feel in their flesh what it has been, what it has become, and what it has turned into after not following the dietary recommendations that we have made at the beginning to start with.
Absolutely. I find the gluten sensitivity to be huge. I truly did not understand how big it is until I actually started practicing and asking some of my clients that weren't able to get the results that they wanted, but they got the results after they stopped eating grains.
Absolutely.
I can estimate, in my opinion, probably about 75% of my clients have some sort of gluten sensitivity. So my personal advice as a coach, the first thing I say before you get tested or anything, just drop the grains. Just don't eat them, don't even look at them, don't smell them, forget about them, like they don't exist at all.
For you, they don't exist.
As much as possible. That's mean no bread, no cookies, no, a lot of different things.
No, nothing that's basically made out of flour. Because sometimes people, they ask you, well, does pasta contain gluten? I'm like, dude, what is it made out of? Oh, this one is made out of semolina. Well, it's semolina wheat. Don't be a smart ass. It's a form of wheat, which it contains gluten, gliadin. It's gonna hurt you.
Absolutely.
Don't believe me? Try it. Have some wheat and get knocked out.
Now, people that should think about possibility of having gluten sensitivity if you are gaining extra weight, if you tend to get bloated for no particular reason, but because you're eating grains, if you have water retention and you get very puffy, if you have any kind of digestive disorder or possibility of digestive disorder, so your digestive tract is not working well, I would highly recommend you to look into gluten sensitivity and cut out the grains completely out of your diet. Now, what can we recommend for people that so much love their grains that they're having a hard time to cut them out?
Well, ideally what I do is I said, just give me 2 weeks or give me 3 weeks to prove myself right to you. And I tell them, let's come to an agreement. We both have to sign it. And sometimes, you know, put a little bit of a price behind it, because people are sometimes very resistant. They're very, very attached to their grains.
It's an addiction cycle in most of the cases.
Absolutely. So they have to come to realize it says, don't have it for X amount of weeks, and let's see how you feel. Obviously, they always feel better. So it's a win-win situation. I don't bet unless I know I'm going to win. So call it whatever, you know. And sometimes with people that are very left-brained, I have to tell them, you know, go to such and such doctor. I'll recommend a specific person, and he's going to provide you with a blood test, you know, where you're going to see, you know, the reaction, like such as, you know, the MRTs, the other tests that we have for food sensitivities and intolerances. And obviously they're gonna, you know, I already know before, you know, they go, but sometimes they need to spend a couple $100 in the doctor visit to see that they're actually ready to do it. And once they find out, well, then they have like a third-party verification, and I understand.
The cheapest way to figure out if you have gluten sensitivity or not is by not eating gluten Absolutely. For an extended period of time.
You follow an elimination diet.
Exactly. One thing that you can do is, if you're having a hard time stop eating bread that has gluten, you can buy a gluten-free product. There's a huge industry right now. They're creating a whole lot of different gluten-free products. I wouldn't say all of them are great. But at least they don't have gluten, and if you have a serious gluten sensitivity, that is a major concern.
Yes.
Stay with the rice products in that case.
Yes, but it doesn't mean that they might feel good right away, because they're going to be over-consuming on a portion of the micronutrients, the carbohydrates, and they're going to over-consuming those, and they're not going to feel as good as they should, because they're still over-consuming carbohydrate.
Possible. Yes. Another way to get rid of gluten out of your products, one of the better ways, is to make sure that you ferment your grains before you make anything out of them, which you rarely see these days. But if you ever consume a properly done sourdough bread, chances are it's not going to have a whole lot of gluten in it.
Right. Although, you know, I don't foresee doing that in my kitchen anytime.
Well, it's kind of a little bit complicated, but if you really want to make sourdough bread, you can, and chances are it will be pretty low in gluten.
That was the flavor.
I find out of my practice, this is a very important episode, because I've seen people drop lots of weight just by cutting gluten out of their diet.
I've seen people
that is huge. So if you have a goal of losing the weight, just cut down on the grain products. You'll be amazed what it can create for you.
And I've had clients that they were, you know, incapacitated physically through arthritis, and they have made tremendous progression in their health and how well they can move about just by eliminating grains.
Absolutely.
So it is all part of the equation.
Absolutely. You want to say anything else about it?
No, I just want to tell our viewers to please keep on following us, and website, workoutmaster.com. Facebook, Twitter. We're here to answer your questions. Place comments. If you have anything specific that you want to know about, let us know. Anything related with this episode, past episodes, or future episodes that you might be interested in hearing about, let us know. We're here to serve you. So with that said,
remember guys, your future looks better already. Thank you for watching, and until the next time.
Take care.